Let's see. We're back. We are back. We are back. So weird. There you go. There's everybody. Okay. Whew, honey. Thought I was on the verses, hun.
Here?
Yeah. And I still can't even see you connected. Like I don't even see you on here, which is so weird.
Oh no, I can see you.
I was just saying, I was like, I feel like I'm on the verses. Oh, there. Woo. Yes, so much better. Yes. I felt like so. Okay, girl. Since we got that, I can see you. You can see me. Sounds good. So well, I guess we can just get it right on into it. So thank you so much for being a part of Quarantine Design in Live. Um, we
Thank
did
you for
it
having
last
me.
month for like a whole week, and I was just like, oh, let's try to do it like once a week. So we
Hmm.
have every week we have something booked until up to August. So you'll be
Hmm.
seeing a lot of other artists in the following weeks that I'll be talking to, and I'm super excited about it. So
Hey.
thank you.
Well, congratulations for creating this platform
Yay!
to share, creative thoughts and our process and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been doing your thing, honey. This quarantine has not stopped you one slight bit.
Yo, listen, it's don't believe the hype. I have listened. No, it's a struggle. No, seriously, I feel like it was a blink of an eye. I don't really remember April. It
Oh,
happened so fast, and I
right.
think May came in, and then everything just picked up, and I was like, okay, let me get back on the roll. But literally April, I was working on myself and trying to be productive and keep the momentum going, but I felt like I wasn't being productive, and I felt like I wasn't working as hard as I could. But it was like, Courtney, like we were literally in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
It's okay to chill, like relax. But I
Right.
think I,
Right.
caused more anxiety on myself with thinking about what I should be doing instead of what I should have been doing for myself was rest and realize that I've been going hard for a long time, and it was okay to like take time for yourself. So,
Right.
yeah, but that's what has been going on.
Yeah,
So,
same here. Same here. I haven't really like stopped too much. I haven't had any rest really because
mhm.
I have a 5-year old and doing school, being a teacher. So now that she's out of school, I have a little more time to kind of like get it together
Mhm.
and kind of rest a little bit.
Right.
So I'm so happy they out of school, honey. I'm so happy. Um,
Yeah, I
but
can only, like I said,
yeah,
I can only imagine. I'm like, isolation by myself. So I can only, my heart goes out to all the mommies and the daddies who had to like take on that extra role of having to do all that extra work with the kids and
Right.
be a teacher. So my hat goes off to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We try, we're doing our best out here.
Word.
But I did want to like really focus on like your collaboration and work with the Atlanta Beltline and
Mm-hmm.
your curator in residence. You're one of the first of the curators in residence also.
You said, do I want to? Am I want to go? Am I the first? I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Are you
It
the
kind of went
first
out.
one? Yeah. Are you the
Yes.
first of
Mm-hmm.
that title? Yeah.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about that role? I know that they rolled out, applications for people to be for the next year, 2021 and stuff. So can you give a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of insight of your experience in that?
Yeah. So, briefly, applied for the curator and residency program last year. It was something that I thought about doing and kind of put on the back burner, and it wasn't until like probably like the couple of days behind that I realized you need to get on it and make sure I had all of my sources together that needed to be presented to them. I really thought that I didn't get it because when I sent in my information, it got kicked back saying that my files were too large. So I was like, oh no, like I didn't. So I
Oh,
was like stressed out, and I was just like, man, I've been doing all this work and this, just really hard on myself for like procrastinating and just all that. And so a couple of weeks later when I found out that I received it, I was just like, thank the Lord. Like it was definitely a testimony for myself to say I'm proud of myself for even putting myself out there to even try to get it. And so it was kind of a surreal
mm-hmm.
moment to be like, yo, this is really happening. And then it wasn't until, so I found out like around June, July. But the
Mm-hmm.
work didn't begin. It wasn't supposed to begin until October. And so in the midst of
Oh,
that,
okay.
still working on my own like projects and working, um, I had to put it, in my head like what I wanted to do because this is my first time doing a public art ever. Like I curate like pop-up art shows and gallery shows. So do public art was
Wow.
something that was, which is cool. You're supposed to elevate and try new things. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, with that, understanding that I am the first was a title. It was heavy for me because I was like, well, I have to do something that's gonna be impactful and that's gonna mean something to me and mean something to the community. So just in that sense, I knew that whatever concept that I came up with um, had to represent. I had to represent responsibly for the community.
Right.
So so
Right.
then after seeing,
Absolutely.
yeah, and so it's like exciting to see, I don't, it's exciting to see that people are interested in, sending proposals to the Beltline and saying, hey, like Courtney did it, like I can do it too, like it feels good that I can,
Right.
be in the light of to share that I took a step out on faith and, hopefully that encouraged someone else to do it too.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So the how many events or things that you did you have to do in that role?
Well, it was up to me to come up with what event that
Okay.
I wanted to do, and then I laid it out. And of course, everything doesn't go as planned as you want it. We can see what
Right.
happened, but it wasn't until like literally the pandemic
Yes.
happened where I had like three events planned, three different phases, and the
Mm-hmm.
event, was postponed literally 12 hours before I was supposed to
Wow.
launch.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I
so
was
that was
like,
like that was hard. That was a
man,
hard
that's when everything
hit.
kind of like shut down.
Yeah, so that was
Right.
hard because it was just like, dang, I put all this work in. It's been 6 months of just hardcore work and, involving so many different people. And, I had so much support. And a lot of people wanted to help and volunteer. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to learn how to delegate. So I'm like, I need to know how to, I'm trying to figure out the questions I need to ask and then how to like get those
Right.
fulfilled and be able to be like, yeah, okay, this is what I need you to help me with. And so I'm very grateful for my tribe of creatives and friends who were there for me, and still are. And so now that we're moving,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having to pivot virtually, it's kind of like I have the foundation, but now it's like now we have to like flip it, and so that's been interesting.
Right.
So, but it's good. I mean, like I said, there's like 3 different events.
That's good.
I wanted to incorporate all, you know, music, fashion, art, community building, all the above. So this is the work that I want to move forward to beyond the Beltline.
Nice. Nice. That recap that you put out the other day just gave me all the feels and stuff with the music, just being in that space that you were in. It was very enlightening and stuff. So that made me kind of like, oh, okay, let me go check out the other people that were involved in your event.
Mm-hmm.
It's like acting crazy. Oh, okay. So
am I clear? Are you able to see me?
yeah, so
am I
it was
pixelated?
very, yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can. It's a little bit.
Good.
It's a little pixelated, but I can hear you.
Okay. But like I really like love the recap of your event, and it was just so amazing. I was like, okay, let me research all these people.
Oh, sweet!
that
I
you
love
had
that.
that was part of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's only like
Yes,
literally
like from the
that's just one part. Like it was more of a promotion, like just to get you excited for what's to come. So that's just like one little. And I wouldn't say little, but it's like that's a major point, major part of what's to come. So I'm just excited that we got that part to get people excited. After I was like, what should I release it? I was kind of like nervous to release this. I was like, should I have broken it up in like the little sections, or should I just give it all? I was like, well, let me just drop it, because this was supposed to happen back in March, and so it's like now it's May. So I know a lot of people were excited about it, and I wanted to give the girls their shine, and I'm excited for their performances. So yeah, it was in Timber House Films. His work in film work, his vision.
He did my first recap.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, Timber House. Yes, he did my first recap. Y'all can check it out. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Comfy Art YouTube for design and news.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first event ever that I put together. I've done events, but for other companies, because I used to work for Aspire TV, and they did a lot of events. But this was like my first like real event by myself, that putting together, getting the artists, finding the venue. Like, it was nerve-wracking. I was overwhelmed. It's just a lot that goes on, as you know, to together like that. And I didn't even, he came in with another friend of mine as a guest. So he came in and he looked around and he was like, yeah, I want to just, do the recap. And I was like, what? I didn't even have a budget for a recap. Right. I was just going to just or whatever. And he made it look so beautiful, so top notch. So y'all go in and check him out, because he is amazing at what he does. And I'm so appreciative about what he did for me for my first event. And he also filmed the first in the Comfy Zone last year also. So yeah, awesome. I'm super grateful for him.
Yeah, and it's so important to have these like archival. It's so important to have your work like archived, so you can go back and say like, "Yo, this happened." And it's kind of like a last minute thought sometimes when you're throwing events. Like, you're trying to get everything done. So many details have to be put in place, and there's so many hats that you're wearing, and you're just like, "Oh, now it's like it was up to the date. Like, who's capturing this? Who's gonna be the photographer? Who's gonna like be the videographer?"
Right.
So it's important to have a roster of different people that you can reach out who have different eyes too.
Absolutely.
There's so many,
Right.
Yeah. So Dr. Arsley is amazing. Phyllis Iller's amazing, who's also on the project. Yeah, so it feels good to work with just different creatives and seeing it from their eye.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you have next with, are you going to do anything since Atlanta is open? Are you going to do any on live stuff? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I do
what are
have
you
a
going to do
few.
next?
Again, like because I want to finish the Journey of a Black Girl project. That's been my main focus. And then just personally on my own
Mm-hmm.
end, because the last couple of years I have been painting for myself. I'm working on a self portrait, which is like I needed to like sit down and really focus on that, because it kind of is subliminal to me working on myself and just in real life, right? And so I'm just like, okay, I'm working on myself
Right.
now. Let me put it to the paintbrush, because I've never done a self portrait of myself. So just challenging myself with that, and just wanting to get the gears going into my own creative practice and studio practice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I know, like, once the Beltline is over, I know that this project is going to go beyond it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something I'm also thinking about, is how to um, get it outside of Atlanta. Actually, it kind of already has, because
Okay.
literally yesterday. So I got home last night at 1 a.m. because I drove to New Orleans to help finish part of the project.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. I was
yeah,
like, where are they going?
of
They need to be in the house.
a journey outside of Atlanta to bring it back to Atlanta. So that's
Right.
exciting. So it's kind of like I'm already kind of manifesting it to be national, or international, whatever case it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But this journey of a Black girl doesn't stop. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that. But yeah, just also just like, trying to figure out, like, what's the world really going to be? I know a lot of people had a
Yeah.
shift and thinking about, do I do a different career path? I know I've always been,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been creative. So just gonna kind of keep pushing that forward and share our stories the best way we can through the arts.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you do before this, before the arts? Were you always in art, or did you
Before,
have another
like before
occupation?
curating, or you're saying,
Yeah.
well, yeah. So
Just overall, yeah.
overall, like, I've always been a creative person. I went to school for graphic design, so kudos to you, because I'm just like, it's dope.
Okay.
So I went to school for graphic design, but throughout
What
school,
school did you go
I went to
to?
AIU. I started off at Texas Southern.
Okay, AIU.
I started off at Texas Southern because I
Okay.
wanted to go to HBCU. However, I did
Oh,
not
okay.
check that they didn't have any art program. So I was really there for like my freshman year, and I got the experience. But when I came to Atlanta, and I kind of did a little bit more research, and I went to AIU and started off at the Buckhead campus, and then went to Dunwoody, and
Mm-hmm.
finished up there. But throughout that, I worked throughout school. Like, I bartended with managers at different restaurants and
Right.
lounges. But I was grateful for those experiences, because it taught me a lot about, like, event planning. And one of my jobs, I worked in Peter Street, Castleberry Hills, and
Okay.
I got to participate in the Castleberry Art Stroll. Just being at that restaurant, I got to show my
Yes.
art there, and
Mm-hmm.
that helped me, like, start to get confidence about myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
just meeting different people, I met a lot of musicians and DJs, because they would perform there. I met comedians. I would bartend comedian, like, comedy shows. So, like, I
Okay.
was in these different pockets
Yeah.
of creatives. And so the owner of the restaurant told me, he said, Courtney, are you going to continue to follow my dream, or are you going to do your own? And I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's a real life.
okay.
That's a real life.
That's deep.
That's a real life question. So I had to think about it, because at that same time, I just started to teach, like, the paint and sip classes. And so that took
Okay.
off for me. I taught there for like 7 years at Sips and Strokes, but then I was picking up and creating my own mobile classes and creating my own events. And so I was kind of like getting this
Wow.
experience on my own. And I had an
Mm-hmm.
event with two of my friends that we decided to do an event called Chocolate Night In. And it was
Mm-hmm.
me teaching a paint class. We had a chef; she would make the food, and we had a bartender who was a mixologist that was teaching you how to make drinks. So it was like these little pockets of like interactive like event. But then we also brought in male models to like body paint on. So it was like geared towards women. So it was real. It was dope. And shout out to the t-shirt lady because we had it at EVA Gallery a few times. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, so we had it there, and it was really good. It was really good. It got expensive, you know, trying to figure out how to make it work because all of us had our own different lives. So it was like we came together to put this on.
Right.
So it's like I want to bring that back eventually, but that was like a push to like saying like I can produce and create and come up with my own events. And then, so again, like I said, I would do like mobile classes. I'll go to people's houses and teach paint classes. I would have paint classes at my house in my little studio.
Oh.
So I was doing all that. I was like, I'm bringing in chefs. Like, you want to come cook at a Valentine's Day? I used to teach classes like 2 classes on. I remember this one Valentine's Day. I had 2 classes. I taught a kids class and like a midday class that had like 100 people. And then I went home and I had like 2 couples come to my house that had a private chef and I taught a paint class. So I've always been on the go, like always going. And when I started to curate for other artists, I was approached by, not marketing, I'm sorry. I was approached by a promoter who threw parties, like hip hop parties, and they wanted to do a tribute to Biggie. And so with that, I was like, okay, let me get some artists who love Biggie. And we did a Notorious B.I.G. tribute art show. And it taught me a lot because I had about 25 artists that was in there. Although it was like a party, I had to learn, like, yo, we're not just decor on the wall. Like, I really wanted people to really look at the art and purchase the art. And, you know, a couple artists had some sales from that. But it was definitely a way to get my foot in the door. And then followed by that, I was like, well, I can do this. I have access to artists now, so let me go ahead and do a Tupac show. And I reached out to other artists who was like Tupac fans, and from there on, it was like it just kept rolling. And I was doing these pop-up events like every couple, like maybe like 3 or 4 a quarter, every quarter, like once a quarter. I kept doing like pop-up shows. For about 2 or 3 years, and then I had the opportunity to curate the Art Exchange. It's a new gallery once they moved to East Point, and at first was started out as a 3-show contract. Ended up having me on for the rest of the year, and so that was a whole another experience. And I was like, I've always wanted to have my own gallery, and it really actually taught me because I had these blank walls that I was able to like, I don't have to do a show that only lasts for a day. I can literally have a month show up. So it taught me a lot working with an institution and a nonprofit and getting to know like the guests and the visitors and the artists and being able to do more studio visits and have time with artists to see their process, as an artist myself going into curating, I feel like that helps me because I understand the process and I'm a little bit more compassionate, a little process, sometimes easygoing, but then also it taught me to have a little bit thicker skin and be a little bit more assertive with myself and stand in my power when it comes to, knowing that I'm able to do this. So, yeah.
Right. That's an amazing journey, I tell you.
Yeah.
Right there. So what would you tell an artist, like an upcoming artist or that's been around for a while and they wanted to get into either creating their own event or get in with the galleries to put on an event? What are the 3 things that you would think that you would tell them to kind of focus on?
Well,
to make it successful.
As to if they wanted to do say a solo show or just so definitely for a solo show, I feel like an artist definitely needs to have a body of work. You have to have a lot to choose from. You have to be ready. So if a curator comes to you and say, hey, or if you're interested and you invite a curator to do a studio visit, you need to have work that's ready to go or a concept that makes sense and that can back up what you're trying to share. It needs to be professionally done. If the work needs to be framed and you need to have a budget to know how much you're going to be able to get it framed and have it really hung. You understand contracts and knowing what the percentage would be if you are given a commission to the gallery and or curator, and deadlines. You have to be diligent with your deadline and your time frame. So a lot of times artists
Right.
like, oh, you know, I do art and I want to show my work. But a lot of times you can't just jump out with just a solo show. You need to like go into doing different group,
Be
be
part of
part of
one.
one, do group exhibits and see how your work looks next to another artist's work, you know, and see how you can improve
Right.
or and just build relationships with other artists, because you can get a lot of knowledge from other artists as well, because we're all in this together. We all kind of have similar, similar feelings when it comes to creating our work and putting ourselves out there, and knowing how to price your work too, because you can say, well, I've been working on this for this amount of years or for however long, and you feel like you know your worth, but if you never sold a piece before or shown anybody, who's backing you up, so that's what I'll say. Like, definitely do your research. Definitely know, put yourself out there before you decide to even try to have a solo show, and have plenty of work
Mm-hmm.
to, back up, just to, be ready to go. You stay ready, so you gotta get ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're all, we all procrastinate
Yeah.
at times. So, when you have your stuff together already, it's so much
Mm-hmm.
easier to get that response of yes when you already have things put in
Mm-hmm.
place. And I always try to have everything done before I reach out to
Right.
people, so when they do ask those questions or need those assets, it's already set up in an email, and it's not on me, it's really on
Mm-hmm.
them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely agree
And
on
yeah,
that.
and back to what
Definitely.
you said, having like documents and having templates and able to easy access of your CV, and make sure you're updating your CV and your bio and your artist
Mm-hmm.
statement, and having photos to share, so they
Right.
can do their work on the other end. Because curators,
Mm-hmm.
we expect you to, and like I said, I'm an artist too, so it's like some of the things that I'm telling them, it's like I'm telling myself as an artist. I have to tell them, but I'm telling
Right.
myself as well. So what I expect from
Mm-hmm.
the artist that I'm curating, I have to put in mind when someone asks me to share my work, that I'm doing the same amount of the same amount of work and effort that I expect from somebody that I'm working with. So,
Awesome.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Um, and then you usually come, I guess, percentage rate of, the yeses when you have your stuff
Mm-hmm.
together is far more greater than the
Right.
nos when you have far more greater. Yeah, because working with the artists and just and different artists, not all artists, most artists that I've worked with, I guess, because I have such a outline of what I need from
Mm-hmm.
them, they usually step up to the
Mm-hmm.
plate because it's something that they want to do, um, and you can see when they want it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Because I really like to focus on their brand, their personal
Mm-hmm.
brand, overall, um, and then their business or their artwork as second,
Right.
because you're showing yourself first, and then you're showing your artwork second.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Right. So I know, when did you start to reach out and have like more live events with artists, and collaborations, with Comfy Art?
So with Comfy Art, well, it started in 2016. It was just the pillow
Mm-hmm.
company, and I was just gonna do flip flops and sweatpants and all comfy
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But when leaving and focusing on Comfy Art full time, I expanded it, and I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design
Mm-hmm.
also. So I didn't want to deal with freelancing and all of that stuff. I wanted to create my own like creative
Mm-hmm.
brand. And when I expanded it to like t-shirts and book bags and all of that stuff, um, I I needed some. I quickly realized that I couldn't create all the designs and stuff on
Yeah.
my own. So that's when I was just like, let me find some artists. Let me find some artists to put their work on so I don't always have to create new
Right.
stuff.
It's tiring.
And then,
It can be tiring.
yeah, it is
Yeah, because
tiring. Like to come out with stuff, especially because you're e-commerce. I'm e-commerce first. It's more like a retail type situation. You're also looking at like how the structure is and the deadlines of the or the timelines of how like the different products that you need to come out each month and stuff like that on the back end. And it's just very overwhelming to do it on my own. So yeah, that's how I started reaching out to artists and seeing if they wanted to put their work out. Because I've always, as an artist, I've always wanted to like be the girl that created custom Nike designs on shoes and stuff. I still want to do that. I want to have my own Puma line or Nike
mm-hmm.
line or whatever like that. That's what I've always dreamed of
Mm-hmm.
doing. And then just it's just more of something that okay, I can do this. I can see how it looks. I know, doing patterns and all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then with the artists, just giving them the opportunity to be on a platform that is also growing with them and creating the product so they can see what their artwork looks on the
Mm-hmm.
product. So it gives them another insight of okay, well, certain things that I design looks good on a T-shirt, but not necessarily on a
Right.
book bag. And then also, since I have a digital marketing background and I have a master's in internet marketing, I also I also have like one-on-one classes or group classes with the artists that are with Comfy Art and to learn more about the analytics and the numbers behind driving
Mm-hmm.
traffic and building their brand on the back end. So it's grown a lot because the first time I had it, we didn't do any of this, but just seeing and learning from the artists and getting feedback, that's what they need because they don't know all of that stuff, especially doing like a 360
Mm-hmm.
campaign on digital. And especially now, since we're not able to go
Right.
out, I mean, that's the only outlet for you to kind of like put your stuff
Right.
out now. So it's been interesting. It's been very, very
And
interesting to kind of transition.
yeah, and I appreciate you for holding these spaces, to learn these other important aspects of behind the scenes of art because we can as creatives we
Mm-hmm.
get in our zone of like wanting to create and share our work for the business. So when you all
Right.
came up with the comfy arts and politics, that's amazing. And so I appreciate you guys for doing that, which is
Yeah.
happening tonight.
Yes, happen tonight at 6:30. Tickets are still available. You can go online.
Right, but as well as knowledge that you will have to. It's a lot of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first one I went to with W and Jessica Mint and so hey, and Jose. Yeah, and it was such a beautiful setup too because of the sunset matched your logo, and it was a feel good feeling to like walk in that space. So I appreciate you holding that. Um, yeah. So mhm. Marietta Street. I think it was Marietta Street. Hmm. Hmm. Right. It was definitely comfy. It definitely was comfy. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Mhm. Right. I love that. So, it's like I said, like it was crazy, like just during this whole quarantine time, you're trying to find, ways to pivot and then, but still give time to yourself. And um, with everything that's going on, outside of just our own selves and our own families and our own like careers, like making space to even give yourself time to, um, be able to take everything in. I know, like I said, like I just got back in town, but I wasn't on social media like that yesterday. Like I post, what's going on, but you get back on social media and you see everything that's people are posting, and it's hard to like, it's up and down. Like your emotions are up and down constantly. So how do you stay in your comfort zone? Like how do you stay in that space? Because you have to find balance. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. That it is. No, that it is, and it's the realest thing too. Because, like I said, like I going so like always being out and being social and having to bring people together in these spaces, and now that we were confined to our houses and being to yourself. For me, I had to really dig deep and realize there were some layers I had to get through, because it's so easy to like pour your energy into everybody else and neglect yourself. And when you realize that, you're like, yo, like I can't pour from an empty cup. So it's very important that you take that time to get it right, so you can share the light. Because if you're like not, if you're in the dark when it comes to yourself, it's like, yo, like it's not gonna happen the way you need it to. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Hmm. Hmm. I'm excited. I can't wait for y'all to see it. I can't wait for y'all to see it. And it's changing every day. It's like I have an idea, something will pop up, and I'm just like, okay, we should do this. And it's like, Courtney, like, calm down. But if I'm given this vision, like, go ahead and just act on it, because it came for a reason. So it's important. I'm so excited to share it. And if y'all are right now, there are two installations that's up on the Southside Trail. My braiding this crown belongs to us was a braiding project, community project that I had women come out, and we took yarn and braided like 15-foot long braids that I hung from a bridge. There is a mural out there on this, like I call it my homegirls clubhouse by Usually Matherin. She created this mural, and if y'all want to go to the Beltline, please, not if, I suggest you guys go. And the part that I'm on, yeah, And the trail that I'm on, it's the entrance of Bill Kennedy and Glenwood. So over by the Grant Park Kroger, and you can enter, and it hasn't been paved yet, so it's the newest part of the Beltline. And you can walk down. You'll see the braids hanging from the bridge, and you're like, oh, okay, that's where it's at. So definitely that space. There's room for social distancing. It's not like crowded like the other parts of the Beltline, which I kind of struggled with at first. I was like, well, how do I like promote people to go to the Beltline when there were so many people saying, don't go to the Beltline. There's too many people there, you know? But on that space, it's not. There's plenty of room to spread out. So, but yeah, go and take some pictures and show some love to the journey of a Black girl, and stay tuned for all that's to come. And we're actually dropping a lot of the content during the week of Juneteenth, which is special to me because growing up, I'm from Denver, and Juneteenth was like the what I looked forward to. For the summer. Like, so that was my first time actually realizing that's public art, right? We have parades and live music and vending. And so it's like a lot of that I grew up with, seeing Black art and seeing all these Black people together celebrating our freedom has been instilled with me, inside me. So now I'm getting to do the same thing and share it. So I that's special that this is getting dropped during that time. Yeah. Perfect time. It was aligned. Yeah. Mhm. 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 Right. You can plan, but like I said, like sometimes you have to just look forward to what may come. And I've always been excited for what may come. Even though you can try to manifest and plan stuff out, but for me, it's God's timing, and what's supposed to happen is supposed to happen, and like life is where it's supposed to be at this moment. Just embrace it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it because again, going back to mental health month. I was like feeling like I was going through a depression in the beginning because, like I said, this is my first time being alone like this in such a long time, and needing that space to. Are you okay? Okay. Needing that space. Oh, hey y'all. Oh, see, they said they couldn't hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
That's all right, guys. If you can't hear me, it's being recorded and you will see a recap.
Oh, well, I appreciate everyone that has joined in. I see you, Floyd.
Yeah,
National
absolutely.
Black Arts. Hey, hey, my sister. Hey,
Hey.
Shannon. My sister's in the building. Or I'm not here.
Right.
um. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope that it can come back. I don't know. I can hear you. I don't know why everybody else.
I know. I
Oh, okay.
can
I think
hear
you came
you.
back. I got a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
We can
Thank
hear you
you.
now.
Yay.
Hey, Floyd. That's my sister.
Hey.
Shout out to my sister.
That's your
Yeah.
sister? Hi, sister.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
I think I don't even know what I was talking about before. But I appreciate
I know.
you inviting me to just talk and be transparent about like what's going
Yeah.
on, and it's important that we share this. So um
Yeah, it's very important. And I just want to, you just have to keep on
mhm,
working. You don't have to work right
mhm,
now, but, just jot stuff
right.
down, when you think of it so you can go back to
Mhm,
it. And, because we're going to be in this space for a while. So just trying to just strategize what you're going to
yeah.
do when you get out of this. It doesn't have to be so much stuff, write in a journal or
Mhm,
something. Just have a plan because it's going to be a lot of things that's going to be
mhm,
changing, that I feel. And you just want to be a little bit
right.
prepared for what's going on and not to be so shocked about it. Yeah, so and get those coins up, because you know this recession, if you need a house, this is the time. Right? It's gonna happen. Get your coins up. But other than that, yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. If you want to have any questions,
thank
let
you.
us know. I appreciate y'all coming through.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and let me know if you need any help or if you need any volunteers. I am open. You have my connection now. And yeah, just let me know.
I really appreciate it. I love it. I love when women are supporting women. Us Black women have to always stick together.
You got to. You can't do it by yourself, honey.
You can't at all. It doesn't.
Nope.
I can't remember where I heard this quote, but I said it a lot to myself, and I think I've shared it with others. But your dream's not big enough if it doesn't involve other people. So it is that's as simple as that. We need each other.
We need some clapping around that one.
We need each other, because I can't curate these shows by myself. But it's like the artist is like, it's about y'all, like it's. So I'm happy for the way your brand is going, and you're giving spotlights to artists that haven't been seen before, and it gives me a place like, oh, that's a dope artist, like let me check this out. So I appreciate social media for that too, even though it can be a catch-22, like I said, with the ups and downs of different emotions that you may come across, and but it is very you got to use it for an educational purpose as well, and so I appreciate that. So being able to discover. So yay! Well, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna look forward to seeing y'all later on tonight.
Yes, honey. Come on through.
In the bio.
Yeah, it's in the bio. The link's in the bio. You can also go on the website on www.comfyart.com, and under the events link, you can see it there. So it's 2 ways that you can go, because I just had somebody say they couldn't get on the landing page. So just if you can't work on the landing page, which is in the link in the bio, just go to the website and you can just pay it on the website. So 2 ways. I try to, help everybody. So yes, only $5. Come join us, get some legal resources, and it's going to be a great event. So 6:30.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for showing up.
All right. All right, hon. Have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.